Hi, I'm Connor Mead, and I'm here today at the 2016 Canadian Science Policy Conference. And joining me today is Denise Amyot, who's the President and CEO of Colleges and Institutes Canada. So Denise, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you. So to start us off, I wonder if you can tell us a little bit about Colleges and Institutes Canada, about the work you do, why is it important, and why is it unique?
We are a national association of all the colleges, cegeps, polytechnics across the country and institutes, applied institutes. And we represent 1 Canadian out of 8 Canadians because of the number of students, the faculty, the administrators, and we have 1,000 campuses across the country. So big footprint and a lot of people. And of course, we play a key role in the economic development and the social development of the communities. That's why colleges were created. And so our association is there to play a role from an advocacy perspective, as well as networking, capacity building, and so on.
Great. So what do you think is the impact of colleges and institutes in Canada on applied research and on the downstream effects of economic growth and prosperity?
It's interesting that you ask for the impact because we just released a couple of weeks ago the economic impact of colleges, and it represents 91 billion, in fact, to the country that it brought for the year 2014-2015, so big impact. And the international students alone represent $1.9 billion that it brought to the economy of our country. The role we play, of course, we have the role of training to ensure that companies or non-profit organizations, the governments, have people with the skills that are needed. But we are also playing an increasing role in applied research. And in all sectors. Name a sector, we're there. There was an article a few days ago in the Globe and Mail talking about what colleges were doing, and the title was "From Drones to Alfredo Sauce," and because literally we do research in all of that. And what is particular about the applied research we do? We do that to give experience to students. We don't do any piece of research if students are not involved. We do not produce articles or write about this because for us, the way it works is a company or a non-profit or a public agency approach us with a problem and they ask for our help. Then immediately we put the heads of students with one of our faculty and together they look at how could that be solved and present it, develop prototypes and so on. Just last year, we helped 5,500 companies. And most of those companies, about 80% were small and medium enterprise. And 8% were micro enterprise. Because if you are a company, you do not have necessarily the human resources that can help you to solve your problem. You may not have the equipment to develop the prototype or the know-how. And that's how our colleges come into play. Whether it's with advanced manufacturing, whether it's to help develop medical device, or to look at a new process to produce food in a way that is faster and that tastes better even.
Right. So what do you think are some of the hardest and most challenging aspects of choosing which applied research to focus on and then translating that research into business and economic results?
So the most difficult aspect right now, honestly, is the lack of funding. Because we are so popular that now we unfortunately have to turn down projects. We have to turn away companies or tell them, look, come next year because this year we are full. The federal government has been recognizing the role of colleges in applied research since 2008, but now we've reached a stage that they've increased it of 5 million every year, but now it's not enough anymore. And so for us, it's not a challenge to translate it into commercializations because that's what we do. And so we help to go from idea literally to shelf. That's what we help. And depending on what the company needs, that's when we enter into place. And of course, what is needed more and more is infrastructure to be able to continue to expand this applied research. And with the recent input of funding in infrastructure, it has helped tremendously. We still have needs, so we certainly hope that this will continue.
Fantastic. So what are some of the future goals of Colleges and Institutes Canada in terms of advocating for continuing this trend towards better resources and better
we've been quite involved in applied research linked to science and technology, but although we are in the communities, we only recently began to receive funding for social innovations because before SSHRC was not providing funding. And there was a pilot project that was extremely successful. And just the first year with a $5 million available, they had requests for 18 million and they had to turn down projects. And so for us, it would be to have this program permanent and also with increased funding because, like, just look at the health sector. We do not receive fund under a CIHR, but we train 80% of health professionals. And you know how many issues there are in the health sector. So we really believe that we're part of the solutions to solve a lot of the problem in health.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so my last question for any of our viewers at home, where can we go online to learn more about the good work that you're doing?
Very easy. You go to collegesinstitutes.ca and there's even a searchable database that you can look at, and you can find any applied research project that is being developed in any sector. And you may want also to come to take some programs. We now have 22% of our students come from universities. And if you look at SAIT and NATE, 2% of their students have PhDs because our programs are very, very practical and they lead to jobs.
Great. Awesome. Well, Denise Amyot, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.